Welcome back to Barry Charles Footy Show, your one-stop shop for everything rugby league. Let's get to it. Let's get to all the big news out there, and we will take a preview of round 2 of the footy for you right here, right now. Zach Lomax, yes. Does Zach Lomax want out of the Dragons, or is this a whole lot of media hoopla? That's the question mark. You gotta ask yourself here. I would say the Zach Lomax was disappointed to start off with because people were saying he was going to play fullback. He was, for a time in the off season, he was probably expecting to stay at centre if he didn't get the fullback, and now he's gone to the wing. He had an outstanding game on the weekend, absolutely staggering. One of the top players in the game for the round, to be honest. Zach Lomax had an unbelievable game. The question mark is, does he want to leave the Dragons? I think all the mail out there is a little bit of hoopla at the moment. I think signing Jordan will be an interesting call what they do there, but he potentially could be a centre as well. But yes, so if Zach Lomax is to go, where is he going to go? Who would want him? Now, if he wants to play centre or fullback, what is his options? Probably his best options are the Tigers for centre anyway. Not necessarily fullback. Yeah, he's pretty struggling for most other teams, to be honest, to really get a crack. Obviously, there's some places that wouldn't want him, don't get me wrong. The Warriors could do with him. Parramatta could do with Zach Lomax. He would be a good get for Parramatta if they were looking for an X-Factor player. He's the player I'd be looking for if he is willing to go. Obviously, Canterbury could do with him. I'm not saying there's a lot of play, but it's a bit of a low. It depends on what he wants. Dolphins, of course. A lot of players want it, but how many can fit him into the salary cap? That's the other big question to me. But yeah, Parramatta, I would say, if I was looking at available teams to potentially go to, if you want a short-term chance of winning, you could say the Rabbitohs as well, but when you get there, Roosters, but with the Roosters. Go that route as well. So there's plenty of options for Zach Lomax, I'm sure, if he does leave the Dragons, and maybe he does need to change because let's be honest with the Dragons, I don't see them winning a premiership anytime soon. Even though they improved first game, but when I just look overall, I just don't think they'll have it against the big top teams. At this stage, I've been saying that in a couple of years' time, who knows? Shane Van Agen's a good coach, no doubt about it. But yes, so Zach Lomax, I think most of it's a little bit of hoopla, but we will see how that develops. And it could be a cancer for the club later in the season if they start to lose games. Will Zach Lomax make the Origin? Now, talks from Justin Horo that he is going to get onto the wing. You're kidding me. I'm not saying he's not talented enough, but I just don't see it at all. I have Crichton in my centres. I have him and Latrell Mitchell. I'd have Turbo on the wing, which probably leaves Toho on the other side. That's the way I would go. If you're not going to put Turbo, and in saying this, I've got a new fullback for New South Wales. Can he stay on the field? That is the big question. The big question of all. Can Ryan Pappenhausen stay on the field? That's the big question. Can Ryan Pappenhausen push James Tedesco out the door at fullback? I highly doubted that they would, but if he is fully fit, imagine having them all in the team. Ryan Pappenhausen, Turbo, Latrell, it would be exciting footy to watch. Pappenhausen just has a different game. He can just do a lot of things that a lot of people can't do. Obviously, Tommy Turbo has the brute force. James Tedesco is a little bit below him in terms of that thing with Latrell Mitchell. But the elusiveness of Pappenhausen at his best is like the Billy Slater ilk. So that's a forgotten player potentially for Origin, Ryan Pappenhausen. And I was going to talk about Crichton. Is there an opportunity he might miss out on Origin because he's at the Bulldogs potentially? If the Bulldogs are struggling near the bottom of the table, Crichton might be forgotten about, and they go for the Turbo Latrell Mitchell factor. But to me, Crichton in the big games steps up. Absolutely, grand finals, Origins, he steps up big time. I think he's a big game player. and you need big game players in the biggest arenas. And to me, Stephen Crichton would be a lock in my team. Well, that was a little bit of talk of that. Now let's get to the footy. Yes, the round 2 footy action starts off with the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs. Broncos goes out with the same team, and the Rabbitohs have Tallis Duncan bouncing for Joe Arrow, who potentially has a long-term injury. That's not good. Interesting, both back from Las Vegas, how they're going to handle the trip and everything. The Rabbitohs, to me, were poor. Very poor defensively. Richie Kenner has got another go, which I am stunned about, but maybe they don't have the depth there in that position, so he has to play. I think the Broncos are going to ambush here. The Rabbitohs need to turn it around, but I just think Broncos at home are going to get this done, so I'm going to go to Broncos by 7. Then we go to Sharks and the Bulldogs. The Sharkies, absolutely way too good for the Warriors. Now they play the Bulldogs. I am concerned for the Bulldogs here. I think the Sharks can run rampant here. Nico Hines on fire. I got the Sharks winning 30+. I really do. Whether or not they do that, the last week could have taken a lot out of them, but the Sharks, the Bulldogs look a little bit off the pace. They're not. They need something bad. Let's see how the Bulldogs do without the Fox. Yeah, I got big question marks. I just don't think Bulldogs are picking the right team. I honestly don't. I think there's a few question marks on where they should go. I mean, I've got no problem with Blake Taff at fullback, but I think Birdo, good kicking game, but I don't know if he's got doesn't seem to have the watch you need for number 6. I would put him back at centre with Critter, have Carraz on the wing with the Fox. That's the way I'd go. And really get going there. And there's also talk of, what about Bronson Cherry? What are you doing there? You could potentially have Bronson Cherry in the side, but then where does that fit in one? And do Bronson Cherry at fullback potentially with his athleticism. So it's a lot of things to talk about with the Bulldogs in terms of selection wise, but the Sharkies again. Panthers versus the Eels. Well, Panthers normally don't lose 2 in a row, but I think potentially they could. The Eels have been consistently better than the Panthers most of the time, and I think the Panthers are missing Crichton, Spencer Leniu, but although Mitch Kenny returns as Scott Sorensen, so that will help out the attack. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to go to Eels with an upset 6 points. Raiders versus the Tigers. Well, these are normally generally good games. Lachlan Galvin on debut, so Benji's gone with a young 18-year-old. Congratulations. Aiden Caesar's going to be sitting on the pine. If this works out and he is the superstar, Aiden Caesar might not play much game time this year, but he'll be more of a coaching figure if that happens. Yeah, so he's playing against his old club. The Raiders, to me, were very impressive. The Tigers were not so impressive in the trials, but maybe they're trying to roll the dice with Lachlan Galvin here. But I'm going the Raiders here by 12 in this one. They could win by more, but I'll go 12 because Raiders normally gritty winners. Cowboys versus the Knights. Cowboys are unchanged. They were impressive, but I think the Dolphins were bad compared to Cowboys being good. And the Knights, Tom Jenkins comes in on the wing for Tuala. I still think Cowboys get this done. I just got concerns. As I've been saying all along, the Tyson Gamble, Jackson Hasty thing, it only really worked because Kalen Ponga was playing so well. Ponga's going to have to go to another level to get this one done. Cowboys by 12 or more. Storm and the Warriors. The Warriors, what is it, something like 2015, the last time they beat the Storm? Absolute madness. They just can't find a way to beat the Storm. And, well, let's hope they do it this time. Am I going to tip against the Warriors? It's hard to say, but they just the bogey team for the Warriors is the Storm. Absolutely. Ryan Pappenhausen, if he's playing good, he will have a field day. The Warriors need to get their interchange rights, and that's the way looking there. But I'm going to go for the Storm in this one. Even though, yeah, Warriors through and through. But I'm just going to go with the heat there. The Warriors, it could be an interesting point. If the Warriors lose this game, pressure building. They need to jag a win. Seagulls and the Roosters. The other two from the weekend. I see the Seagulls winning. Sorry, not the Seagulls. I see the Roosters winning this game, but Seagulls are good at home, don't get me wrong. Told me to Rawbridge at Brookie. It's tough to tip against them. But the Roosters, I think, are a different team this year. I think the Roosters, unless Jason start for the Eagles, Jerry or Hargraves returns, I just think they'll get it done. And the last game of the round, the Dragons. Can the Dragons and the Dolphins? Who's going to get it done? Dolphins have made changes with Jackie Varillo coming in for Tessie New and Katoa in for Sean O'Sullivan. And the Dragons have Luciano Leilua coming back. Interesting game, very interesting. Can the Dolphins bounce back? Dragons get beaten. I'm going to go for the bounce back factor, and the Dolphins might pull off an upset. I won't bet a special. The Dolphins here by 6. But thanks you for joining me at Barry Charles Footy Show. I'll be back with another video soon. Have a great day out there.